So, Mike, I want to ask you something. So, obviously, you always, as far as I know, you've always been in top shape, right? Have you ever struggled with like weight, like fat gain? Actually, have you ever struggled with it, or you never had an issue with it?
No, I started this at 9 years old, like I was saying, and I've been competing since I was 13, 14, and I've been in the health and fitness world by 17, and we're there today. But I do work with people around the world that do struggle and struggle hard with it. And it comes back to just, again, if I could say anything to anybody, whatever diet you like we were talking about, if you like red meat or don't like red meat, it's okay. It doesn't hurt me if you don't want a red meat. You know what I mean? If you want to do a fasted diet, you don't want to do any wheat or gluten, I'm cool with that. But if you're consistent over a long period of time, we can get you in shape, regardless if you're overweight. And it's so cool to see during the lockdown that we got to work with so many people that were in that range of 400 pounds. And now a year and a half, 2 years later, they're at 198 pounds, 183 pounds. And it's like, I wish more people would really just kind of go, okay, this is it. I'm done with how I look. I love that Anthony Robbins says a person doesn't change until they're completely fed up with how they are and disgusted with themselves. And then they go, okay, I need to change. And I wish more people would get to that level.
Some people want to practice self-love, No matter how they look, they still want to, it's a different take on that situation.
I'll stay off of that one. You can have that
I hear
one. I'm sorry. I don't know what that totally means.
Okay, what it means, Mike, I'll explain to you. So
Please
basically,
do.
let's say,
Please
I
do.
will,
I love this.
Yeah, so let's say you're a man or a woman and you are overweight, right? Or what people would perceive to be overweight, because everybody, they have their own perception of what overweight actually is, right? So let's say you're overweight. Let's say you're overweight and you might be looking obese, for example, right? I don't want to offend anybody, but let's say that's you, that person.
All right.
And instead of feeling bad about yourself and want to lose and want to change your body, right? You embrace it and you know, show it off if you want to. If not, you don't have to, but you basically embrace it and feel proud of it. So it's the opposite of what you said.
So then my question would be this, because I agree with that. I agree with, if you are 5'5", 320 pounds, all muscle, and you got high blood pressure and your joints hurt and your heart's getting the size of your head, that's not healthy. And I'm cool with somebody saying that. And so I'd be the same thing. If the person is overweight and they got high blood pressure and there's other issues coming, heart disease, whatever that may be, then again, there's got to be for me, I don't agree with it. I'm glad that you're happy with it, but I'm about life.
Right.
I just know too many people that have passed away too young that were a positive influence on life and people. And if you want to be someone that's overweight, unhealthy, causing issues not to just you, but if you're a parent and you got kids, you're telling me you don't think that you should be around in 20 years for your kids? That's where I draw it. I get it that you want to feel love.
That's a good point, Mike. So it's more about the health. It's about the health issue rather than just the beauty thing, right? I mean, I get that 100%.
I love eating. I'd love to be 350 if it was healthy, and that I could do everything that I do. That'd be awesome. But there's got to be there's a health issue to it, and I don't care who you are. You 150 pounds overweight. By the time you hit 40, 50, your lower back and knees are gone. It's like it's.
Mike, what's your take on visceral fat? Right, it's basically fat around your organs. So you might be, not you, but I'm saying a person might appear to look like they're in shape, right? But they have a lot of visceral fat inside. Have you ever had that problem, or do you know how to actually deal with that? Like, how are you supposed to get checked for that?
Yeah, obviously body scans, or like most people or guys make sure that there's no issues with your livers and kidneys and anything like that. My recommendation, again, goes back to this last couple of years. I'm so focused on making sure cholesterol is okay, Your blood pressure is great. Heart's good. The valves are good. And we do a lot of tests. I think we went through this last 3-4 months, colonoscopy, heart exams, MRIs, and we did the whole gambit, I guess you would say, just to make sure, hey, where are we at? And then we went out and also just did the studies like on taking my own blood and spinning it and putting it back in on PRP, and to see if I can't even enhance the body where it is right there so I can continue to do what I'm doing. And I did this preventative. I didn't wait. I didn't wait to say, hey, I got bad knees and back. I want to make sure that I can, if there's something I can take my own blood and spin it and put it back in, done.
What do you do with the PRP? So you get the PRP, right, the pellets, and then you inject it back into
So yeah, we got a great guy that we go down to Orange County, and we just take the afternoon, we go down there, he draws my blood, he spins it and puts it back in. Take a
very
couple days.
beneficial. I heard a lot about that.
It's
very
great. And I think if you have heard about it like 10 years ago, it's a new world today. And how good these guys, especially this guy. This guy was Kobe's guy. And so I got introduced to him. And I'm like, if Kobe Bryant liked this guy, I like this guy. So you know what I mean? It's like, because I didn't know that much about Kobe until he passed away. And I didn't realize how similar our beliefs were about training at 4 a.m. Get a head start on everybody. And over time that catches, and that gets so much past everybody else. And preventative. Check your heart. Make sure your blood pressure is good. If there's something going on, take care of that. I think everybody needs to do that. And I think one of the great things is where you and I are, and being able to talk to these people and say, listen, I went out and got a colonoscopy. I need to make sure that, because I lost my dad off of that simple little test. If he just did it, it wasn't just like the tough guy, we would have had him for another 10, 15 years. But those little tests change you, man. And I agree with you, like that fat that's around the organs. You got to get some checks. You got to get checked up any way you possibly can. Make sure what's going on, and also family history.
How often do you do the whole checkup? Once a year or twice a year?
This last 2 years, because we wanted to do research on every test possible, I think we were in every 3 months doing another test. Yeah. Really trying to understand it. Really trying to understand all the aspects of it. And make sure everything's good.
Yeah, so you never had blood, I think we spoke about it I think a year ago, we spoke about the blood pressure, because from what I understood, it's a huge issue, specifically in the fitness, like bodybuilding community, right? Because you're lifting heavy, you're taking supplements, right? You're eating a lot, red meat, of course, right? I'm saying all those things are factors, sodium, right? The factors for high blood pressure. Have you ever personally dealt with it?
My blood pressure is fine. Everything that we've done is fine. The heart exams, everything that we've looked at, everything, the plaque buildup or anything like that, we've come back golden. And it goes back to what we said earlier. You may not find me attractive. I'm a 300-pound guy. That's fine. But I'm healthy. The joints are healthy. The body's healthy. The heart's healthy. Everything's good. And so in that aspect, I'm okay with saying, hey, I'm pretty happy with how I am. And I just don't want somebody else to go, well, I'm 350 pounds and I look great. Okay, but are you healthy?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Get checked.
How
old are you now?
cardio?
You're a pup.
Me?
Yeah, how old are you?
How old do you think I am? I think we spoke about that before.
I think you're 29.
You got it. No, man, I'm actually 39.
Did you do, well, you don't need to for another 10 years, technically, they say. But have you done anything, checked the heart, checked anything?
I go once a year. I don't go every 3 months, but once a year, basically, like beginning of the year, I go and I kind of do the whole thing. Yeah. I think it's important. But I used to be kind of like, once every few years, but I feel like it's important to do it once a year. I think is good. Maybe twice a year at some point.
What triggered it? Why more?
Honestly, there was nothing that actually triggered it. I just kind of was like just health conscious. I'm like, I haven't been to one time it was like a couple of years ago. I'm like, I haven't been to the doctor since like 2 years ago. I should probably go just to get checked out, So do the whole like the blood draws, heart, everything, and just kind of like address everything at once.
Do you think that most people think that 39 is a little young to get checked every year?
I don't know. The doctors recommend actually once you hit 40, you should go twice a year. That's what they told me. You know, and then I guess at some point, I think from 45, you should get like the colonoscopy. I think, right? Like you mentioned.
Colonoscopy. I went at 35 because it ran in our family, and there's 10 of us, and yeah, so we check. We've checked for it. It's funny because you just said that you get to a certain age and you go more and you more and more. And we went to the doctor and I said, so how often should we come in to check the heart? Just do an EKG or anything like that? And he's like, every 6 months. And I'm like, wow, I thought it was like a 5-year thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, doctors always want you to listen to them, right? They always say, they tell you how it is. But listen, doctors, when you talk to them, when you talk to like a regular doctor, right? For example, they have a chart in the office, right? And the chart is basically your weight and your height. It doesn't matter if you have muscle or fat. They don't care about that. They just basically say, okay, like this is your height, this is your age, this is your weight. So even if you have muscle, right, like you mentioned, for example, and you weigh heavier than what they expect, they tell you, okay, you need to bring it down. They always say that. And they say that lifting heavy is not good for your heart. They always say the heart, doctor always tells. I mean, I don't know if your guy tells you this, but
that's 100% changed. I don't know if you know that. The studies now, there's so many nice, good studies out there now for anybody out there that wants to read about heavy weight for the heart. And again, heavy is relevant to whoever you are. If you're me or Mona, that's some heavy weight. But yeah, it's an incredible thing, and they talk about how incredible weightlifting is for the heart. Coincide, and then obviously add in your cardiovascular that you need. But what do you think about cardiovascular? What do you think about the?
I was just going to ask you about that.
Were you? I did not know that.
I was going to ask you if you do cardio for control for your weight, like your fat, you know what I mean, like fat balance, or do you do it more just for the heart? Because some people, I get different answers from different people. Do you do it for actual?
What do you hear more of?
Man, I don't know. I think it's like 50-50. Some guys tell me they spend half an hour doing cardio every day, and during prep, bodybuilding, they do like in the morning and at night. Some people say they do only 20 minutes or 15 minutes just for the heart, you know what I mean, for the breathing and heart. So I get like very opposite sort of like answers. So I don't know.
Yeah, I hear, maybe because I'm just like in it and talking about health and fitness all the time, I hear it's like a 90% is everybody does it for the heart. It's like the heart is that fragile to if, and it's an interesting one to me because I just, how do I say this in a nice way? The heart isn't fragile. It's a pretty incredible, powerful thing. Mm-hmm. And if you treat it right, it doesn't take a lot to keep it healthy. It really doesn't. If you eat a healthy, balanced meal and you're active a couple times a week, your heart's really strong, and it's an amazing thing. And it's funny because in the industry of health and fitness, it seems like everybody thinks it's the most fragile thing in the world. If you don't do cardio every day, 30 minutes a day, for cardiovascular, not for fat loss, but for cardiovascular, and you busting your balls and doing that, then dude, by the time you're 35, you're done. That's what I see, which is frightening to me because you sit there and you think about, I mean, you see it on TV. You see these 800-pound people walking around TV shows, and they're in their 40s and 50s, and they're 800 pounds. It's like, when's the last time they did any kind of cardio? But that's the extreme of it. It seems like the health and fitness are so fragile about it. And then you see most Americans are overweight and don't do exercise. There's got to be a balance, but I guess that goes back to the mindset again. Sure. You don't see that?
No, absolutely, I agree with you. But for you personally, how often do you cardio, and what is your take on cardio specifically?
Cardio in the gym I'll do it as I'm getting ready for a movie or a project when I need to slice up.
So it is for fat. It is for fat loss.
For fat
fat
loss.
reduction.
Yes.
And how do you do it? Empty stomach in the morning? That's how you do it?
No. My stomach's never empty. No, I do it after my workouts.
That should be a T-shirt. That should be a T-shirt. You should make it. My stomach is never empty.
Jeffrey, write that down. Well, I think we're gonna have that out before the end of the day. My stomach is never empty. Yeah, cardio is one of those things. If you're gonna use it to cut up, use it as an additional tool. So the workout is still your main base. Get a good workout in, okay? And then cardio is so easy. You can do it afterwards or at night or whenever it is. I don't like unless you're weeks out from a show or to that peak day, whatever that peak is, class reunion, whatever it is, your wedding, then the fasted cardio in the morning because you're probably doing it twice a day. But my belief is use whatever you have for the workout and then cardio later in the day.
And do you walk fast-paced and for how long?
I do treadmill at a 15 incline.
15 minutes incline.
Yeah, I put it on a 15 incline, and so it's just a real steep, nice walk to where I could move at a moderate pace, but doing long strides, so I'm also incorporating the glutes and hamstrings into it, and just get my heart rate around 135, and I just hold it there.
I was talking to Jim Sepani recently. You know Jim Sepani?
Yeah.
So the same thing. We're talking about cardio and the effects of cardio. He said you get more fat burn if you have a workout and you move at a faster pace and you do a full body, like meaning like let's say you do back that day, right? So you do your back, but then you also after you finish back you do like one exercise for other body parts, and you keep the pace going. He said that's the best for burning fat, in his opinion.
Okay, but I'm going to say if that's your sole purpose and you want to burn fat, cool. I want to retain muscle. And so it completely opposite. To retain the muscle, the set before you just did cannot hurt the next set. And so anytime I see the guys running around, bouncing around, doing that stuff, which is great. And if that's your goal, cool. I want to try to retain as much muscle as I possibly can on my diet. Because I don't want to be just, hey, there's skinny Mike OHearn ripped. No, I like walking around at 270 ripped. I like that, and I like that allows me to keep my bone structure and everything else healthy and big. Man, that's for me.
You think you're always going to be jacked, Mike? No matter how old you get?
I was 270 at 15. I'm 270 now. Yeah,
that's amazing.
I think it's just that Viking blood, man. We're just big boys in the family.
Yeah.
But again, it's I can change my body dramatically depending on what I do with my nutrition and training. And so I think that's one of the cool things about health and fitness is that if I need to be, for this next movie, I need to be 250 pounds, I can get to 250. And so it's nice that I'm still in control of the ship, I guess you would say. The ship's not in control of me. When I don't want anybody to get to that point where they're not in control of it anymore. It make sense?
Yeah, but if Steve Soderbergh comes to you, right, and he says, Mike, we need you to be 180 for the next one.
Ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna tell him no. We did do a test though. I did do a test to see how low I could get.
Really?
And we dieted extreme. Not in a healthy way. Just to tear off as much muscle as I possibly could.
Just to see what can happen.
Yeah, and I got to 239. But that was also, at the last stage, it was depleted, water depleted, and 3 days no food.
Jeez.
So
that's tough.
Yeah, so that was the low.
How angry were you? Were you frustrated?
Hey, Mo, how angry was I?
Nobody could talk to Mike, right?
We have an employee here, and he would always call and text Mona or Jeff and go, hey, is Mike fasting today? Because I'm not coming in if he is. Yeah, but you understand how food can play with you mentally too, though. Mostly when you lose the fat and you're still doing that stuff, because it helps to get rid of the fat if you want to use that as a tool to get leaner. But man, when you get down to that leanness and you got nothing to burn off, plays with you.
I can only imagine. I'm glad that I didn't talk to you during that time.
I think you did.
Did I? Oh, man. Well.
So I made a statement saying I'm still in charge of the ship. What that means is that I'm still in charge of the body. I can put on size, I can put on muscle, I can take that fat off, I can get on stage in 10 weeks. I'm still in charge of it, and I want you guys to do the same thing. I hope you took that part of this video and take that away from this video and really hold on to that. And if you're not in charge of the ship, then we have issues. And that goes on to the next statement, the fat. Are you too heavy? Can you get in shape? Can you get in shape in 10 to 12 weeks? If not, please reach out, talk to one of your friends who's a trainer, and start getting in control of your body again, no matter what age you are. And then the final thing is, please get your blood work checked, get your heart checked, get all those kind of things that may be in the family history checked. Do not be one of those people that think you don't need to go see the doctor. We just talked about this. I've been doing this for years. I want to be healthy. I want you all to be healthy. Thanks for watching the show today. I appreciate it. Subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week with a special guest.